They'll start caring about the audiences again when the audiences truly stop showing up completely. They'll start caring about the audiences again, and mostly to the theme parks, when the audiences stop showing up there. They haven't had enough pain yet, and that's the problem. Disney is a soulless corporate monster, especially when it comes to art, especially when it comes to creativity. When it comes to filmmaking and television, Disney is a soulless. It's amazing the slop that they pump out. Nate Bargatze says that Disney doesn't care about the audience. Now, I didn't know what this was. Jonas had thrown this at me. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know. But I love the headline, and apparently it's been picked up enough. It's even in THR, The Hollywood Reporter. So I'm like, okay, worth reading this. The comedian named Walt Disney as one of his influences, but said that now Disney is run by a guy that's just a businessman, Bob Iger. And that's true. You know, it's different when it was Walt. Walt was a very smart businessman, but he was also a creative genius. Bob Iger is a weatherman who became the head of a news studio, who then became the head of Disney. He is a businessman first and foremost. And let's be honest, Bob Iger really he's not a creative. He has all of the creative chutzpah of Kathleen Kennedy, which is to say none. If a guy like Bob Iger is telling you that he watches all of these Disney movies 3, 4, 5 times before they actually go out into theaters, and he's telling us now that we just haven't had the quality these last 5 years, then that means that Bob Iger was literally lying in everybody's face. Every earnings call, Bob Iger was just a damn liar, talking about how excited they were about all the movies coming out later on, blah, 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 because he sat there and watched this 3 to 5 times while he's telling us now that he knew that the quality wasn't there because they were making too many movies too quickly for Marvel. Well, which is it, Bob? Either you were lying the whole time or you were incompetent. I'm going to go with a little bit of both. Clearly, Bob Iger does not know a good movie when it bites him on the ass. But let's see what he says here. Nate Bargatze. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it sounds cool to say it very Italian. Bargatze. It doesn't appear to be Bob Iger's biggest fan. The comedian was recently asked during an interview for Esquire's latest cover story who his biggest influences are. He responded with 4 people. Jerry Seinfeld, doesn't get much better than that, Judd Apatow, Adam Sandler, and Walt Disney. That's quite the mix. Bargatze later clarified that he was referring to the person, not the mass media and entertainment conglomerate, because he believes Walt Disney cared about what he created and his customers. I think that's an undeniable fact of history. However, he couldn't say the same about the current Disney head. Quote, now, Disney is run by a guy, Bob Iger, that's just a businessman, he said, seemingly referring to Iger. Of course he was. Quote, well, that guy doesn't care about the audience. Ooh. Bargatze acknowledged that none of this happens without them, meaning none of this happens without the audience. Of course, that is true. The Hollywood Reporter reached out to Bargatze's rep for clarification and Iger's representative for comment. Whether it's his stand-up comedy career or his recent shift into Hollywood with his family-friendly content company, Natelin Entertainment, Bargatze has always been considerate of his viewers, making sure not to alienate an audience. I don't want anybody to feel bad or uncomfortable, he told The Hollywood Reporter in December. It would break my heart if someone thought that I thought I'm better than them, and I want to be for everybody. I mean, that's the goal. The comedian continued, I grew up eating at chain restaurants and going to Walmart. I'm on board with selling everything to everybody. A lot of times people will be more like, my comedy isn't for everybody, and there's a pride in that, but it just never clicked for me. I was always like, why would you not want everybody to come to your show? Can we have this guy run Disney? Can we have this guy as at least the next head of studios to replace Alan Bergman? For the love of God, Dana Walden. But if he replaces Bob Iger, I'm good with that too. Yeah, that's it. Instead of pretending like you're making something for everybody, like Disney likes to try to fake, maybe they should actually try it. See, before Disney got into all the crazy, stupid DEI slop that they've been making, everybody did show up. The audiences for Disney films and television shows were exceptionally diverse. They've become far less so now because Disney is trying to target based on such just immutable characteristics as skin color or gender or whatnot. It's what's killed Marvel. It has killed Star Wars. It has killed, just based on purchase cost, $8 billion of shareholder investment in those two properties. Not to imagine or not to discount the tens, 20s of billions, whatever it is. A lot of money, probably 30, 40, 50 billion dollars that have been pumped since the purchases into Marvel and to Star Wars that are basically just stagnant. Don't believe me? Ask yourself why Disney is still trading at the exact same stock price it was roughly 10 years ago. Ultimately, Wall Street knows there's a problem here, even if they pretend like they don't. Iger is a guy that just doesn't give a about the audience. It's kind of hard to argue against that, right? Think about this. One of the first comments, that we remember going back, Kathleen Kennedy, right? Force Awakens come out. The Force is female. Remember those t-shirts? And we don't want to cater to old 50-year-old white men anymore or whatever else it was. I mean, we've all made the jokes countless times on this.
Put another gay diverse woman in it. Make it more lit.
He's right. They don't care about the audience because Disney would rather insult or denigrate or outright abandon the audience that has been existing and paying the bills for Disney and their properties like Marvel and Star Wars for decades on end, because it's more important for them to get critical accolades. That's what Disney actually cares about. They really don't care about the audience. What's most important to people at Disney, the California cesspool that they live in, is to get praise from other people in the Southern California cesspool. That's it. They want to be praised and touted at parties and still have, a nice cocktail hour with their little Hollywood friends out there because they did whatever the popular left-wing thing is right now. And for the last several years, it has been DEI. And that has come at the expense of actual quality production for Disney. It's come at the expense of actual quality storytelling. It's come at the expense, most importantly, of actually making money. Because the bulk of people out there, whether they will admit it openly, publicly, or not, aren't big fans of cheap-ass virtue signaling. Nate Bargatze's right. Disney does not care about the audience. They care about their friends in Hollywood. And as long as middle America keeps stupidly, foolishly opening their wallets and showing up at Disney parks like sheep, they're going to keep being insulted by these California hellhounds. Wise up and vote with your wallet. The Walt Disney Company does not like you. They think you're stupid. And in a lot of cases, they might be right. If you keep paying for it, they'll start caring about the audiences again when the audiences truly stop showing up completely. They'll start caring about the audiences again, and mostly to the theme parks, when the audiences stop showing up there. They haven't had enough pain yet. And that's the problem. Disney is a soulless corporate monster, especially when it comes to art, especially when it comes to creativity. When it comes to filmmaking and television, Disney is a soulless. It's amazing the slop that they pump out. Yes, every now and again, somebody at the Walt Disney Company is going to put out something that is a shock. They're going to put out something truly amazing and truly unique and truly artistic and talented. The problem is those days are getting fewer and those opportunities are getting fewer. The number of times, the frequency in which we're seeing them are becoming less, smaller, fewer. Go on down the list. I'm not seeing it. We've talked about time and time again. A lot of that talent has left Disney over the years. They've moved on to other studios. The Imagineers that were responsible for decades for making the Disney parks the preeminent, most advanced parks, the most beautiful parks in the world. A lot of them are gone. They have left. A lot of them are at Universal now, which is why Epic Universe looks as phenomenal as it does. Disney is left with a lot of the DEI stock that they brought in over the last several years because that's what they wanted to do. When you put merit and talent and capability second behind some other characteristic that has nothing to do with how well you can do a job, you wind up with second-rate everything. The problem is you're still spending money like you're first-rate. And even when you were first-rate, you were still spending too much money. I think this guy has a lot of beat on it. They are a soulless corporate monster, and the guy running Disney, Bob Iger, doesn't care about you. We know he doesn't. Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.